Yeah, I mean, I'm maybe the right person to ask in this room. Considering I did play for another manager, there's a lot of guys in here that, didn't get that opportunity. But, I mean, he does remind me a lot of John Gibbons that I played, majority of my career. And, obviously I'm a little bit more biased towards him because I spent, almost 6 years with him. And he was a really close mentor of mine. And, I had him as a 24-year-old kid, and I had him up till I was, almost a 30-year-old man. So, but Gibby had that same kind of quality that Boch had in the sense that he was, very relatable to the players. He communicated well with the players. He obviously wanted the best out of the players. Unfortunately, we weren't able to accomplish the same things that Boch was able to accomplish with his guys here. But, and I think that's what makes, a really good Major League manager, aside from some of the X's and O's, which now I'm learning in the National League is a lot more important than it was playing in the American League all these years. There's a lot more strategy that is involved in the game. There's a lot tougher decisions that you have to make, when to pull your starting pitcher, how to double switch, how to, maneuver a bullpen, manipulate a bullpen. But, the qualities of just being relatable and wanting the best out of your players and expecting the best out of your players is, in my opinion, what makes a really good manager.
What personally are you going to miss? You've been here a short time about Bruce.
I would say consistency. I'm a more difficult person to ask this question because obviously this year didn't go the way that we wanted it to. He had announced his retirement, even before I had come here. And at some point down the road, the writing was on the wall that he wasn't going to be back and that this team wasn't going to go into the postseason. So, but even despite that, the consistency he brought every day and like the things I mentioned, being relatable to the players and communicating to the players and, being a steady figure in this clubhouse when things weren't going well, consistently letting guys know that baseball is a very difficult game and you're going to go through difficult times, but he believed in everyone in this room. And, I think, that was encouraging for us at a time that we needed it, and we went on a pretty magical run right before the All-Star break and got ourselves in a position. Just unfortunately, baseball is like you mentioned, it's a difficult game, and things didn't work out for us. And once the postseason kind of seemed out of reach a little bit, obviously everyone's level of care for Boch in this room. We knew how important it was for him to get those 2,000 wins, and I think everyone in here has a great sense of pride in that we were the group that was able to allow him to reach that milestone. It was also fun to have that little external motivation to continue to go out there and try to win some games, even though baseball, that's our job, to go out there and win every day. But when you have that little, like I said, external motivation, and motivated guys in here, especially the guys that have been in here for a long time with him, knew how special and how much that meant to him. And, we were able to rally and get him that. And obviously today's you have that little external motivation again today to want to set them off with a win. We'll see what happens today.
Kevin, you used the word communicate a few times. What does that mean to you as a player in terms of, what do you expect from the manager, and how important is that to a player?
It's honestly, I think it's the most important thing. It varies for, what your role is in this clubhouse, but when you become an everyday player and you're expected to go out there every day, it's nice to be communicated days that you might get an off day, or just having that communication of how do you feel mentally, physically, and having that open dialogue and having that trust factor where, it never got to a point for me this year, but I felt comfortable enough to Well, actually, it did happen. You know, it was a club injury, and I had that open, honest dialogue with him and told him that I'm a little banged up. You know, I think I'll benefit from having a day. You know, I'm going to do everything I can to be available for you later in the game, and you know that's huge. And you know, for guys in here, such as Bo, who's a backup catcher, having that communication of, hey, this is when you're going to start, this is when you're going to play, because everyone kind of prepares a little bit differently, and that's, like I said, I think that's one of the most important things a manager can do is communicate with his players.
Hey, I got one more question. How you deal with Pablo every day?
Oh, well, Pablo missed some time this year, which made me really sad. And you know, there was a time, a very difficult time in this clubhouse. You lost one of your very close friends in Para.
Yeah.
And Pablo was kind enough to ask me to slide down 3 or 4 lockers to be his locker mate, and it was kind of a match made in heaven. So it's been easy, and it's something that you know, I can't think about you know, next year and the potential and the possibility of not having you here. But you know, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. You just got to get healthy.
How many home run Pablo gave you with the shoot gurus?
Pablo, we can't let them in on this.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, my bad.
But quite a few.